what's up? It's me, Catherine. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna talk about self-esteem, not liking yourself, thinking that you're not good enough. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a great time. Before we get started, I don't think this video needs a trigger warning, but you know yourself better than I do if a conversation like this isn't going to be conducive to your health and like your day. Maybe don't watch it. I think you'll be fine, but just wanted to throw that out there. I think it's a combination of summer coming just around the corner and that fresh batch of auditions that always pops up around spring. I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys, a lot of tweets, a lot of messages, and they all have a very similar theme, basically saying that you love acting and performing, but you feel like you're too ugly to be a performer, or that you're too fat to be a performer, or you're too short or too tall or too whatever. So today I'm going to tell you why you're wrong and why it doesn't matter. This isn't really a question of the day, it's more of a challenge of the day, and today I'm challenging you to write in the comments down below something that you like about yourself. You're going to comment two things. One internal thing and one external thing. My internal thing that I like about myself is that I'm really welcoming. I'm really friendly. I always make sure that people feel comfy when they're around me. And then the external thing that I like is I like my eyebrows, okay? I am a fan of my eyebrows. Comment down below. I am challenging you. You can't back out of the challenge. You gotta do it. So everyone in the world has insecurities. They might be internal, they might be external, but I'm telling you right now, every single person has them, including me. And I have a lot that I'm still dealing with, but there's one that kind of popped up and I conquered, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that thing that I conquered was my height. If you guys didn't know, I'm very short. I'm 5'2". 5'2 and a half is what I say. My mom says 5'2". My resume says 5'3", but oops. And it was never really a big insecurity for me until it became one. When I was 16 or 17, I met up with a really well-known, really well-respected acting coach. And basically right off the bat, before hearing me or seeing me perform, this acting coach just said, "You're not Kelly O'Hara's height. You will never be a successful soprano." Now, every single person that I've told this story to subsequently, and I'm talking about like directors, casting directors, music directors, producers, they've all had the exact same reaction. What the f? Because what that lady said was absolutely ridiculous. Not only is it just kind of rude, but it's completely untrue. So I told my voice teacher about what had happened with that other coach, and she said, "What the f?" Because she knew how ridiculous that was. Side note, my teacher is 5'4" and is most well known for her work in Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. The only big difference is that they gave her a nickname, which was Carlittle instead of Carlotta. But it still really hurt my feelings, and it became a vampire. If you guys know title of show, vampires are things that just kind of suck the life and the creativity out of you. It really became one for me. So how did I get over it? Basically, I made a list and I hung it up on my ceiling, and it was the first thing that I saw in the morning and the last thing I saw before I went to bed every single night, and I made a point of reading the list every single time. It wasn't just something I glossed over. I read every single word of it. And it was a list of actors that I looked up to with their height listed next to it. I had actors like Kristen Chenoweth and Celia Keenan-Bolger. I had a quote from Elena Roger, and the quote goes something like, "I once met a casting director who told me I was too short to be a leading lady. I'm still laughing." She's 5 foot and played Eva Peron on Broadway. And for a long time, that list didn't help, but I read it every single morning and every single night for a year. And then it started to get easier, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and every day it got easier. So here's what I learned from that experience and some things that I've learned after that experience. Everything in casting is circumstantial. There are so many factors that go into who gets the part and who doesn't, and 99% of the time it's totally out of your control. My biggest thing is to not count yourself out before the casting team does. Let them not book you. Don't not book because you don't shoot your shot, you know? Your biggest asset is your individuality. If you go to an audition and there's 500 people there, there is a 1 in 500 chance that you will be the tallest person there. There's a 1 in 500 chance that you have the most dance training. Side note, keep in mind that having the best voice or being the best dancer or being the best actor or being the hottest are all things that you can't measure because they're different to each person. But every single audition you go on, there is one thing that you can be #1 in every single time, and that is being the best you. It's your biggest asset because no one else can be you better than you can. What makes you unique? What makes you an individual? What can you bring to the table that no one else can? Figure that out and lean into it. So circling back to those questions that I always get from you guys, are you too short? Are you too fat? Are you too old? Are you too inexperienced? Whatever that is, the answer is no. You are perfect. Be a performer. The things that make you different are your secret weapon. You can build self-esteem. I always thought that it was kind of like a either you have it or you don't sort of thing. And that's not always the case. Some people definitely already come with it pre-built, or maybe a little more of it than others. But it is possible to build self-esteem. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break. Do something that feels good for you. Go on a walk, talk to a friend, get some ice cream, go to the gym, take a shower, draw, sing for your own enjoyment. Do something that gets you out of your own head and preferably out of the house too. The biggest lesson I think that I took away from this whole experience is that just because someone is in charge doesn't make them right. This can apply to friends, parents, politicians, teachers, especially teachers. We're in a profession where we're always taking class and we're always learning from people who know more than us. And we also learn from our peers too. That being said, not all advice is good advice. Not all training is good training. And that can be different for different people. Pick and choose what bits of advice you want to use and you know are going to apply to you in a positive manner. That being said, also know who is a positive or a negative influence in your life. If they're positive, stick on to them, keep them in your life. If they're negative, get rid of them. You deserve better. You don't have time to waste on negative people or people who are just going to make you into a worse version of yourself. Why would you do that? To tie up that first story I was telling you, when I briefly left California, I needed to find a new voice teacher because I was out of state. So I had a voice teacher that was assigned to me. And one time I was talking to this voice teacher and I mentioned that I had played Cinderella in Into the Woods, and she went, "How? Cinderella's blonde." If you guys are new here, I dyed my hair blonde last summer because I wanted to, not because of this crazy lady and not for casting, because of my own personal choice. But at the time this story took place, I had dark brown hair. And yeah, the Disney version is, but really none of the stage versions. And this wasn't the first time that this particular teacher had said something in that vein, something that was just very uneducated and also was intending to hurt her students. She did this weird thing where she would like try to tear down students so they would feel like they needed to cling on to her. Well, she said that to me, and at that point I was like, I'm not gonna work with her for much longer. I can't. I am not a fan of this person. I know she's negative, and I think I'm just gonna educate her real quick. So in response to Cinderella is blonde, I said, what about Kim Crosby, Laura Benanti, Anna Kendrick, Jessie Mueller? Or what about the other version of Cinderella that was currently on Broadway at the time, where Cinderella was played by Laura Osnes, Keke Palmer, Carly Rae Jepsen? Also, have you ever heard of hair dye? Also, have you ever heard of wigs? Like, what a silly thing for this woman to say. And this was an adult woman teaching at a very esteemed place. So long story short, don't let other people create vampires for you. And if you create your own vampires, kill them. I hope this video got you fired up. Comment down below things that you love about yourself. I'm gonna be scrolling through, liking and responding. I hope this video helped you out or made you feel better, or I hope you come back to it at a time that you might need a little boost. I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so, so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!